It's absolutely beautiful. And it just, oh, it's so satisfying. Hey guys, it's Junior. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to give you guys a really quick update on some of the most recent upgrades that we've done to the 73 Challenger Hellcat conversion that we've done. We have some really cool stuff in the lineup that's going to be going in here very shortly, some of which is already partially in. I guess I'll start with the big boy, what we've already kind of shoehorned in here. This is the Gearstar 4L80E level 4 transmission. So Gearstar is well known for producing some of the best fully built GM transmissions on the market. Their owner, Zach, is a fantastic wealth of knowledge. He knows pretty much anything you want to know about doing a transmission swap or upgrade on your car or truck. I mean, he's the man. So we contacted him, got all set up with their fully built 4L80E. This is a GM transmission, I know, but the reason we wanted to do that is because we're coupling that fully built transmission with a couple of other really cool upgrades. Beginning with this. This is the HGM Electronics Compu shift, and we're using the Sport because it's only a 4-speed. You need the Pro for, I believe, the 5-speed and up. But you get this. That is the standalone transmission controller. The reason we wanted to do this is because we didn't want the Mopar engine controller to have to communicate back and forth with an aftermarket ECU and have communication issues. We wanted something that could on its own take care of all the shifting, everything else like that. It does need some inputs, but not something that's going to interfere with the Mopar side of things. We wanted to keep everything tidy and separated. The Compu shift also allows you to do upgrades as well as control the transmission torque converter lockout time. You can control transmission shift line pressures. You can control when it does shift in terms of RPMs. I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do here. You also can add the display, which allows you to program different things, all the things that I just listed, and you can even go further with the upgrades. And I'll show you what we have right now. So there is the standard column, non-tilt, and you can see the factory gauge is just kind of sitting in there. We are going to be replacing the column with an I Did It column, powder coated tilt. And the reason that we're doing that is because these Hellcat seats are actually, even though we've modified them to sit on the floor, they're still a lot taller than the factory seats. So we want to be able to get the bottom of the steering wheel out and away from our customer. So we're going to be able to articulate it up and have a much more comfortable ride. But also we wanted to add, in addition to the display, this bad boy. So these are the paddle shifter upgrade. As you can see, this thing is one huge piece of anodized billet. It's absolutely beautiful. And it just, oh, it's so satisfying. It's very, very stout. This is the RF controller, the interface for this to communicate, because I believe this does spin with the steering wheel. You don't want any wires getting caught up or anything like that. So I'm very excited to have paddle shifters in this car. In addition to the transmission upgrades, the Gearstar 4L80 that we've already shoehorned up under there, we have the Dakota digital VHX system, and I'll peel this back and show you guys what it looks like. It's really, really good looking. It's going to be backlit and LED blue. It does come with all of the sensors and everything else like that, which you would normally need, but in our case, we decided to go with their ODB CAN interface. So basically this plugs right into the ODB2 port, and it receives all the signals for pretty much everything we need here, with the exception of speedometer input. Comes right out of the ODB. So that's very cool. No wiring or anything. It just simplifies things greatly. So we don't have to add dual sensors, because again, I don't want anything interfering with Mopar's package. In addition to that, keeping in mind that this does everything but speedometer, I got speed compass, which is GPS module. So we add this underneath the dash. It has a little antenna wire there, and basically we will have true speed GPS right here at the dashboard. So everything is going to be 100% accurate. In addition, on top of these upgrades, the customer went with this Digitails. It's a 2-panel sequential LED taillight kit, and he's got the LED flasher too, which is really cool. I haven't really dug into it yet, but it looks really like a neat kit. I haven't even looked up online videos of what it's going to look like yet, but I've dealt with Digitails before and they make some neat stuff, so I'm excited to install that as well. Basically, I have a little bit more fitting to do with the transmission. As a matter of fact, you know what? Why tell you about it? Let me show you. I'll get it up on the rack. I'll be right back. All right, and she's up on the rack. So let me show you guys underneath here. I'll grab my light so we can all see. There is the Gearstar level 4 4L80 with their billet converter all shoehorned in there. You can see the fitment issues that we're having with our race muffler right there. We're probably gonna have to relocate some things. Additionally, if you look up there, you see the little red caps that were kind of really hard against the trans tunnel. Well, we had to locate a really low profile 45-degree adapter so that way we can get our coolant lines going forward, or trans cooler. Of course, the output is going to be different for a 4L80 from the torque flight that we took out, so we're going to have a new drive shaft made. You can see all of the modifications that we had to do here to the original cross brace to modify it to make it work. We just have a set of washers in here right now, but we're gonna replace that with a billet spacer. We're just trying to get the final height correct on the engine and transmission before we go ahead and finalize and make a spacer. You can also see our shifter is kind of hanging here. We still have to get that all hooked up, but everything else is kind of coming together. We had to do a little bit of grind work on the bell housing to get the starter to work. I can't really even show you right now because it's all hidden. You can see the billet adapter plate in between right there. That's actually holding the starter in place. Really nice piece. I have nothing bad at all to say about Gearstar's quality of products. This thing was just it was a monster to shoehorn in here. I didn't expect it to be quite as large as it was, especially compared to the torque flight. I thought that the torque flight was a smaller transmission, or a larger transmission rather, and this one was smaller in comparison, and boy was I wrong. This thing is larger in just about every diameter but length. And the overall length of the 747 with that long tail shaft makes it just a tad longer, but in terms of girth and just everything else, boy howdy, this thing was really fun to shoehorn in here. But I am very excited to have all the rest of the upgrades kind of installed and going here. I thank you guys so much for watching the channel, keeping up with the projects. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. You're awesome. If not, you know, we still have a chance to be friends. It's all right. It's all good. But keep up with me. Look for my future videos on this thing. By the next one, I'm sure we'll have all of this stuff installed, and I'm probably going to do some driving videos with the new transmission and the paddle shifters, and I'll show you guys what it's like to drive this thing with all these additional upgrades. So it was already a monster. You've probably seen one of my previous videos. You know, it was annihilating the rear tires because it was on leaf spring suspension. Since then, we've added the 4-link with the coilovers in the rear. The ride tech system is fantastic, so I think this thing is really going to be a lot better. So stay with me, and until next time, thank you and take care.